Okay, I believe we should be live. How's it going, everyone? My name is Mitchell Mander, and welcome to my live stream. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons, episode 97. Let me turn down the music just slightly, it's a little loud. There we go. We're going to be talking about Pokemon Horizons, episode 97 in today's live discussion. A day late, but oh well. Better late than never, I suppose, right? Hopefully we'll be back on track for Saturdays, this upcoming Saturday. We'll see. Yeah. So we'll be talking about this episode today. If you're someone that's new to the channel, you're coming across this stream for the first time, just to give you a little bit of a heads up as to what we do here. Usually the first 5 minutes, I just welcome people, bring the chat in. And then after about 5-10 minutes, I will start reviewing the episode, which is essentially just me summarizing the episode and then assigning a rating to it. Then I give it over to the chat, who then also gives it a rating as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much what we do here. And then after that point, we just talk about whatever. We usually go about an hour, hour and a half. Hold on. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. Another thing I want to mention here, obviously you hear this music in the background, I gotta give a little shout out to Game Chops. It's basically their video game study lounge stream. It's basically lo-fi remixes of video game music along with some originals sprinkled in here, and they're using the sound fronts of various games from like the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's pretty cool, pretty chill. Listen to it a lot, so you should check it out sometime. You might even hear some Pokemon lo-fi remixes as well. In fact, right before the stream started, they had a Lavender Town lo-fi remix that you guys missed out on. But now we're doing Zelda, which they frequently do. Zelda, Final Fantasy, Mario. Those are like the big ones. Pokemon's on there too, but yeah. Check it out sometime, link in the description, maybe after the stream ends. Let's see who's here. We got Sharon, who's going to talk about episode 98 preview later on. Yep, appreciate that. Welcome in. What's up, Hexter Dexter? What's up? Beast Mode God, what's up? How are you all doing? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. I know it's Sunday and we're going back to school or work on Monday, so, well, it was fun while it lasted. Oh well. But yeah. Okay, and other news, apparently I'm probably going to be getting my Switch 2 this week on time. I pre-ordered it back when the pre-orders went live and somehow got in and got it. But then they took my money, or they gave me my money back, but then they just took it just yesterday. So, looks like we might be able to start streaming some Switch 2 games at launch. Well, at least the only game I'll have, which is going to be Mario Kart World. So yeah. Oh, you're on vacation, Sharon? Nice. Good so far also. This episode was very good. Lastly, Iono helping Dot. And Iono, you mean? Or Iono helping Dot and company. That's what you mean. Gotcha. Have a fun vacay. Good episode? Okay. Well, hopefully you guys brace yourself for my opinion on this episode. Which, we're at the 5-minute marks now, so we're going to go ahead and get started with my summary of this episode. So, to be honest with you, not a whole lot to summarize here. It pretty much is Dot goes to visit Iono. She basically shows her... I like how Dot's at Iono's streamer studio, which is kind of cool. But she shows her what's going on in the city. There's a Stunkfist that's causing some mischief, but it's super fast. Which Dot immediately expects that Requiem is involved, because they end up spotting some Requiem signs. So Dot goes into the city to investigate, eventually comes across the tricky trickster, and it is a fellow streamer that happens to be a Stunkfist fan, and is pulling pranks on people. I kind of wonder if maybe they are referencing all the IRL streamers that cause trouble, like going around town and doing like a lot of mischief. I wonder if this is kind of like a reference to that, but in a little bit of a lighter tone. But anyways, the streamer just wants to catch everyone's reactions and is working towards getting Iono's attention. So, and recognizes Dot from the Trestle course, which was kind of neat. So they battle. At first, Dot's doing pretty good against the trainer and is winning the battle. That is until the strong sphere is whipped out and immediately powers up Stunkfist, which ends up using a pretty powerful combination, like the electro web thingy, and then it powers that up and it actually turns it pink, which was kind of neat. And then the Stunkfist, which you step on it, you get zapped. And that's what happens to Quaxwell. And Quaxwell taking on a commission. And then Tinkatuff steps in. And is struggling at first, but interesting enough, it ends up learning Metal Claw. And then one thing that I liked in this episode is that Dot terrestrializes Tinkatuff here. And manages to win. And as the battle's going on, you can tell that Stunkfist is overexerting itself. And its trainer kind of slowly starts to realize that. And eventually it ends up way overexerting itself, and it basically exhausts itself and can't battle any further. So yeah, the trainer realizes that the strong spear is bad stuff, and Iono invites them to try and find them so they can get a surprise picture that will go viral on the internets. The Pokewebs, so to say. But anyways, Liko and Roy show up at the end of the episode. They're almost at Paldea. Dot's still in Levencia. She's not going to make it in time, but then Iono shows up in one of those the taxis from the Scarlet and Violet games where you can just fly around or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly. But ends up, thanks to Iono, is able to get there far quicker to Cortando to go meet up with Liko, Roy, Alt, and her Uncle Murdoch. So that's where this episode comes to an end. To me, this episode was an alright episode. As a Dot episode, it was nice. I do like the fact that Tinkatuff was terrestrialized, or they was able to terrestrialize in this episode. That is good. That is one thing that I do like that this arc is doing so far, is that the secondary Pokemon are getting more focus. We saw that with Hatterem the other week or two ago. A couple weeks ago now that we had a break, but you know what I mean. But now Tinkatuff is terrestrialized. So Kilowattrel, we are just waiting for you to get your moment where you're terrestrialized. Roy, make it happen, please and thanks. But anyways, that was good. I like that. But overall, this was kind of like your standard Pokemon episode, not filler, because it's pretty clear that the narrative of this arc is that they're kind of trying to show the general public that the strong spears is not good. So everyone's obsessed with Exceed right now and how their technology is so great. But it's pretty clear that eventually over time the general public is going to come to realize that yeah, this stuff isn't good. It's actually harmful to your Pokemon. So that's kind of the subtlety that's going on here. But eventually people are going to wake up and revolt. But overall, I mean, besides obviously Tinkatuff terrestrializing and the little small narrative there where everyone's kind of starting to realize that strong spheres aren't good. I just found this episode to be decent, personally. I wouldn't say this was a great episode or like an amazing episode, but it's decent. Probably 6 out of 10 for me. It was decent. I do like my Dot episodes though, and Tinkatuff got development in this episode, and she terrestrialized, and she hasn't evolved yet. So, I guess we'll figure out when Tinkatuff is going to evolve one day. But yeah, it was a decent episode to me. So, what did you guys think? Let's get caught back up on the chat. Good so far. This episode was very good. Lastly, I don't know, helping down. Oh yeah, I read that already. Good episode, 8 out of 10. You already said that, Sharon. What's up, Thomas? Notice the Mega Voltage arc doesn't focus on Mega Evolution that much. Johnny Somali, oh god, that guy. Oh yeah. Someone's gonna be in major trouble here soon. There's a few others that are troublesome out there. There's a certain somebody I'm not gonna mention by name, but they are like one of the worst on YouTube. One of the worst people that goes around and just causes mischief. You might know who I'm referring to, and yeah, the dude's a little punk, so to say. Putting that lightly. I'd actually have other words for him, but I won't be explicit on here. Yeah, I was gonna say Mega Evolution is not really a focus here, which I think, I don't know, it's kind of interesting that Mega Evolution is kind of introduced into the series here, but the training was off screen in Kalos. That's where Roy was for a year. I'm still gonna just say that we're probably going to get like a flashback episode where like Roy met Lucario or something like that, or maybe it was a Riolu when he first met it. I feel like that episode is still probably going to happen, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Could be paralleling the Captain Pikachu origin story episode, but who knows? We'll find out soon enough, right? I'm glad Tinkatuff learned a new move. Yep. Dot defeating the fellow streamer's recruitment infected Dunkfist with her terrestrialized Tinkatuff was great. Also, Dot was able to do what Liko and Roy didn't do. Yeah, she defeated a Pokemon that was on Recruium, though by the point that, well, technically she lost one of her Pokemon before she actually won, so she did have a little bit of a technicality there, though. Still won, though, technically. I mean, if you can do it in the games, I guess you can do it in the anime, right? I'm gonna beat you, youngster Joey, who has a level 4 Rattata. I got like 5 Pokemon by that point. The Watch will learn Tailwind and synergize with its ability. Oh, should learn. That would be cool. Synergize with ability. Yep. You dropped his name. That's who I was referring to, Thomas. You got it. Yep. That guy's a loser. Super Saiyan Darmanitan. What's up? How you doing? Welcome in. How strong is Tinkatuff? Liko and Roy were having trouble when Sango and Onyx used the strong sphere. Granted, they're probably stronger and more experienced than this guy naturally. Yeah, I don't know if you remember from that episode, but they mentioned that they've gotten stronger over the past year. So, they're even more skilled than they were before. Number 1. Number 2, Dot lost Quaxwell first. And Tinkatuff basically finished the job. And by that point, it was pretty clear if you go back and rewatch the episode, the Stunkfish was overexerting itself over and over again, and its trainer kept kind of noticing that until it eventually just, petered out at the end. So even if Tinkatuff couldn't finish it off, it was going to run out of, or that Stunkfish was going to run out of steam like really fast at a certain point. So it was only a matter of time, really. She was terrestrialized, but still, yeah. We know that the strong sphere basically powers up any Pokemon, but it has side effects, as in it causes them to. It basically hurts them, and wears them out. So that Pokemon used the strong sphere for a prolonged period of time, so obviously it took its toll on it after a while. So you could argue that as well, but yeah. Lady Luna Nina, what's up? Welcome in. How you doing? A Dot solo episode on my birthday. Nice. Happy birthday. Great episode for Dot. Tinkatuff needed this development, learning Metal Claw and Terastallize too. The Dunkle's character, very weird though, but great episode. Yeah, that was like the one thing I was like, this dude or whatever kind of was a little bit annoying. That's why I said it reminds me of the IRL streamers that go around and cause mischief like wherever they go. I kind of felt like that was them drawing from that, but doing it in a more innocent light, I guess. As innocent as it can be. They're kind of electrocuting people in Pokemon. But yeah. Mitch thoughts on Murdoch Rockruff evolving in episode 98 preview. It's cool. We got a 1-year time skip, so it evolved. That's pretty neat, I guess. Not that we spent a whole lot of time with Rockruff, but it's cool. I'm down for it. El Creamy seems to kind of get the most attention, though. I think its evolution was unearned. It did not really do much. Well, well, you say that, but like Murdoch's not exactly like one of the lead characters. He's still part of the Rising Bolt Tacklers, but like his Pokemon evolving, I'm not really too super concerned because Rockruff isn't a Pokemon that his Rockruff isn't a Pokemon I expect to get like major development. It's mainly the kids I'm looking at. My birthday's tomorrow. Oh, y'all are having your birthdays all right next to each other. Mine's in a month and a half. I don't want to get any older, guys. I'll be 64. Gotta go get those senior citizen discounts, am I right? During the past episode where they found the explorers showing off strong spears, why didn't Liko and Roy Terastallize and fight back? Do you mean the episode where they're in front of all those people? I'm not really certain why they weren't terrestrializing. They also had to be careful because, like, the general public is on the Explorer side rather than their side, so. Also, when they used the Strong Sphere, they took them out pretty quickly, if I recall. Not much they can do at that point. They're also attacking them after they're knocked out, too. This guy was smarter than the whole stadium. Well, he actually figured it out on his own, yeah. They'll learn soon enough. Liko using Terapagos to battle Katie in the rematch makes sense since Meowscarada has 4 times weakness to Bug and Hedoram is also weak to it. Sure. And again, this is the anime. The anime goes by its own logic sometimes. You know, Florgato defeated Arcanine, so yeah. Type advantage or type disadvantages sometimes don't matter. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Terapagos uses a 4th move. Yep, well, guess we'll see it displayed in 5 days from now. Hey, speaking of which, it's June now. They haven't been really putting out their calendars lately. It'd be cool if they did. Okay, just really quick, just to show really quickly, we got 13 people here. What's up, y'all? if you could do me a favor and hit that like button if you haven't already, I would definitely appreciate it. Can we get the 10 likes here really soon? I'd appreciate it. Spread the word for the channel. Also, remember to vote in the poll if you haven't above. What would you rate this episode? I want Tinkatuff to evolve against Ametheo's Corviknight. Would Amethio be an enemy at this point, though? I think Liko will win. I'm gonna just say she's probably going to win. It would be kind of weird if she lost back then, and then she comes back and then loses again. I know, granted, this time around it's Ursaring, but hey. We'll see what happens. But it's pretty clear that Murdoch's like, oh my gosh, you guys have gotten so strong. I'm not worried anymore. Liko using Terapagos to battle Katie highlights that Liko needs another Pokemon. Yeah. Guess we'll see if she does get one eventually. We should be getting the episode title reveals for June soon. Well, yeah. We only got one episode revealed. We're gonna get more. When you're down to just one episode that we know of, there's usually more episodes around the corner. And they usually hit around the beginning of the month when you get the scans. So that's probably going to be coming this week sometime. So look forward to my video whenever we get these new episode titles and summaries. They'll be sometime this week. Also, Meowscarada defeating Incineroar was anime logic at its best. Yeah. Well, technically that battle wasn't completely, it didn't really finish. But Meowscarada was kind of winning that battle. For the memes. Remember what Brock said. He said both of Ash's Pokemon, was it water type? And they're totally weak against fire type. Yes. Water is weak against fire. Remember that. He was right all along. That's why Greninja lost to Charizard. Tinkatuff having Steel Terra makes sense for Gigaton Hammer. Yep. Thought that was cool. At least it wasn't fairy type. True. I mean, Liko is using legendary, so you would think that's unfair. I mean, Terapagos isn't like super. Terapagos doesn't seem to be like super powerful. It does have some unique abilities, like, you know, healing the Requiem Pokemon, taking away the Requiem, stuff like that. But I guess we'll see it, you know, at full power here in this battle. Who knows? I'm expecting Monday or Tuesday. Could be tomorrow, could be Tuesday. You never know. Just be on the lookout for my video. The battle versus Incineroar was interrupted, and the battle versus Ursaring can be a draw. A draw would make sense as Terapagos was sleeping for a whole year. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. I wonder if if it's more than just 1v1. Maybe it's 2v2. I don't know. It would be cool. But that was one thing that I'm guarantee you, most of you probably, when you saw that summary or whatever before I made my video, you probably knew, like, yeah, Mitchell's probably happy right now. He got what he wanted. I'm like, well, I've been wanting that Katie rematch since Terrestrial Course. Since, like, midway through that arc. I thought we were going to get it towards the end of that arc, but we didn't. So then I was like, dang it. But now we're back in Paldea. So we have the opportunity to do a few things now that we're back in Paldea. I'm very curious to see, there's going to be certain characters we're going to be running into in Paldea. I've been holding my breath on making a video on that, so these episode titles will determine whether I will make said video or not. How will Dot react to Alt in the next episode? I'm not sure, but I know how Alt will react to Dot. He'll freak out. It also seems like he's freaked out by Katie as well, which I think is funny. Okay. Game-wise, it's considered on par with the other box art legends. Ooh. Tyrese, welcome in. How are you doing? I bet Terrapagos will benefit from his Terra shell ability. Maybe. Never said, but I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you? I am doing alright. Just chilling. I'm a little tired today, but we're hanging in there. Liko using a legendary against a gym leader is fine. Also, my reasoning for that many other trainers use legendaries, mythicals against Ash. That is true. Now we need the Grusha rematch. We'll see if that happens. I'm at least happy we're getting Katie. I would like Dot to have a rematch against Iono or Larry, though. That would be cool. Doing good, I am doing great. Tired. This is why Liko needs Chandelure, yeah. Guess we'll see what she gets here soon, if she gets anything. We are in Paldea, so hey, we'll see what happens. If a rematch against Grusha happens, Liko needs a new fire type and new steel type. That would be very helpful. Fire, water type, or fighting Pokemon? That would be interesting. Okay, guys. Wow. It's only been about a half hour. What's up, y'all? Just do this again. If you haven't liked the video already, I would encourage you to do so. We are almost at 10 likes. We need one more. Can we get 10 likes? Can we get one more like, guys? And then get more after that, presumably. I'd appreciate it. It helps spread the word of the channel. And also vote in the poll if you haven't already. You guys are the best. I'm sticking with Chandelure that will Mega Evolve. Guess we're gonna need to make a trip to Kalos, right? Dot for sure will get another Pokemon, maybe an electric type. You think so? Maybe her BFF Iono can hook her up. So, question, y'all. Talked about episode 97 quite a bit here, a little bit of 98. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen during our time in Paldea? Do you think that we're going to be here for a while? Do you think that we might go to a different region at some point here soon? What do you guys think is coming next for the series? Do you think we'll meet some characters in Paldea that we didn't really get a chance to spend time with? What do y'all think? Gotta get your thoughts on that. Man, guys, you guys got your Pokemon Lo-Fi remix here. National Park. If Dot rematch Iono, Dot needs a new electric type and a new dragon type. Tinkatuff could probably do decent against Iono's Pokemon, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Legends EA is confirmed for October 6th, and how will that affect the anime? I don't know. Did Legends Arceus really affect the anime that much? Not really. The only thing really was we got that 4-parter special, which really didn't have much to do with anything related to that game. I think more gym rematches. Larry, Grusha, Iono. Yep, we already mentioned that. Kalos after Paldea. Also, thank you for 10 likes, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Next like goal 15. Can we do it? Yeah, maybe we go to Kalos and we get Megastones for Keystones for Liko and Dot. And then they get a new Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. I feel like the game will go to Kalos maybe around the time the game comes out. So you're thinking like 4 months? More Requiem affected Pokemon and will need to be defeated and recorded. Also, Liko and Doc need to catch a new Pokemon. Guess we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll see a new Megas appear. Yeah, I guess we'll see if ZA's got some new ones for us. I believe there's a Pokemon Presents next month, so maybe we'll learn more then. It's a month and a half away. Main Xiao would be a really great fit for Dot. That could work. I remember when people wanted Tinkatink with Liko, and then Dot got it instead. It's in July. By the way, what's up, Kevin? Yeah, it's right after my birthday. Ironically, I think I'm going to be off work that week. Although I don't know if I'm going to do a reaction to the presents or not. Since I'm not really the biggest fan of the presents personally, but we could actually get some useful information this time around. Give us a new trailer in a few days when people can pre-order ZA, maybe. The Pokemon that suits Dot the most is Dottler, that evolves into Orbeetle. But she might not get it at this point. Yeah, that's kind of a... Yeah, unfortunately, I think we might not be getting that. For the Pokemon presents, I'm expecting maybe more anime news and Legends Z gameplay. You know, I don't know if we're gonna... They usually don't do anime news for that stuff. It's more so like collaborations. Like, I think the only thing we got in the last presents was like, oh, they're doing another collab with Pokemon Go. Yay. The Mega Voltage stuff, or the Mega Lucario, Shiny Mega Lucario that Roy got, that was teased right after the presents. It was not in the presents itself. So my expectation is anime news probably won't be included in it unless it's like a collab with one of their mobile games. Maybe Liko and Roy can be legacy trainers on Unite or something, I don't know. Or show up in Masters or something, I don't know. I can't believe they didn't give us more episode titles besides Murdoch. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes you only get one as you're going into a new month. It's usually week 1 that you get like a whole thing that kind of showcases like the rest of the month. Sometimes they don't do that, but like that's usually what they do when it comes to like new episode titles and summaries. Usually the first week of the month they'll drop them. Usually Koro or something. You'll be finding that out in another day or two. That's why I say look forward to my video. That will be out for sure this week. I will say, I didn't get to mention this, but I haven't had a chance to work on my Rayquaza Rising arc review this last month. I'm hoping that this month I'll be able to sit down and work on it. I know this week is not a good week for me to work on it. I got quite a few things going on this week and later this week, so not this week. Maybe next week I'll get started on the script. I would like to get that out by the end of the month. Would be my preference, but we'll see what happens. So we should be getting new ones in a few days, more than likely. Usually when you get down to like 1 episode left, that's when you start to hear new, more episodes. And at this point we only know of 1 episode, so this week sometime we'll be getting new episode titles and summaries. Hopefully we get summaries, because you know how they've been like the last year. I've been getting a little bit better now that we're in Mega Voltage, but for a little while there, it was just episode titles, so I'm just like, I kind of have to, like, guess what I think is going to happen in this episode based off of the title. The only thing I can think of is, like, oh, hey, like, this character is going to be in the title, so this is what I would like to see in the episode. Summaries at least give me a little bit more context as to what's going on in the episodes, but again, the summaries don't tell the full story, so... The summaries could tell you something, but then, like, a good portion of the episode is, different from the summary, so... That's the fun of it all, because you can kind of speculate, but your speculation could be way off, because the episode goes in a completely different direction. Some stuff you can speculate on, like an evolution, or a new move, or stuff like that happening, or even a capture. Usually with a capture episode, you can, like, look at it and be like, yep, X character is going to get, X Pokemon. Kind of like with Dot and Tinkatink. As soon as I saw that preview, like at the beginning of the last year, I saw that, I'm like, yep, Dot's getting Tinkatuff. Like, immediately knew it. Sup, Kevin. Sup. I think around October we will maybe see the new Megas appear in the anime. Maybe. What if there isn't any new Megas? What if it doesn't happen? When Tinkatuff evolves, it will get rid of Slam. Yeah. What are your thoughts on next week's episode? I know you wanted a Katie rematch. Yeah, exactly. You didn't think the Stunkfish was going to be nothing until you saw the description. I kind of figured as soon as I got that summary, you kind of get an idea what's going to happen in the episode. But, well, we kind of know at this point, Requiem literally just powers up any Pokemon. You can literally be a weak Pokemon. You get a little bit of Requiem and you just suddenly become so powerful you can take on, like, top tier Pokemon, pretty much. Or contend with them at least. But yeah, my thoughts are I'm excited for Liko Katie rematch. I literally been wanting this since Liko lost against her back in Dressel Course. I wanted it to happen before the end of that arc, but that didn't happen. But hey, it's been a year. Teddy Ursa evolved. Unfortunately, Masquerade is seemingly not participating. We don't know if it's a 1v1 or 2v2. Looks like it's 1v1 from the preview, but I guess we'll see what happens. But I'm very interested. I'm hoping that Liko wins this time, personally. She lost the first battle, so her winning this time would make up for her loss. Kind of like how Roy lost against Brassius, only to come back and win the second time. Yeah, I think Liko should win this time, personally. If Roy can do it twice, Brassius and Rhyme, then I think that Liko should be allowed to defeat a gym leader. Especially since Liko isn't too much weaker than Roy at this point. She did lose against him twice in a row, but it's not like she went down easily. I'm not thrilled because I feel Terapagos isn't a fair matchup. If your Masquerade needs redemption, I think it will go up against low ticks. I get what you're saying. I don't necessarily think like Terapagos is just gonna wipe the floor with Ursaring, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. I would like a 2v2 though. Not thrilled the episode is probably going to steal a lot of time from Murdoch. We'll at least get to know what he's been up to. He's clearly working with Katie, but he's going to be super worried about them going back out and being the Riseville tacklers again. But obviously, it's just this episode is going to be kind of reassuring to him that, hey, they can hold their own now. They're very competent trainers on their own now. If Liko is capable of taking on a gym leader and potentially winning, then yeah, they're pretty good at this point. But then we've met Molly, and now we've met Murdoch. So next up, we need to meet Mighty G, and then we also need to go and reunite with Orla, and then we'll have the whole crew back, minus Freed. You're having connection problems? Sorry to hear that. It depends on where you're at. Your Wi-Fi might be a little sketchy. Even the best of places can have poor Wi-Fi. Katie could maybe use Spite Ops, since I think it has appeared in the anime. I don't think it has, actually. I don't recall it being in the series yet. Maybe. I also wasn't also really thrilled Rockruff evolved because I was hoping for a new fairy type evolution, but preferred Molly's chance to evolve into Blissey. Gotcha. I don't mind it evolving. Again, I said this earlier. I don't really care so much that it evolved. Just because it's like Murdoch's not like one of the lead characters. He's one of the adults, so his Pokemon evolving, in the 1 year time skip, I'm not too bothered by it. Now, if it was one of the kids' Pokemon, I'd be like, okay, can we get like a flashback episode, please? Slam will probably be replaced with Gigaton Hammer and Dinkaton's moveset. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Bite Ops debuted in the Spaghetti Goodbye episode when it learned magical loot. Actually, yeah, you're right. It did appear in that episode, now that I recall. It's been a while since we watched that episode. You're right. Good catch, Kevin. This Stunfish new muddy water, electro web, and discharge. Whoever most likely will lose brutal swing for Psycho Cut because it's an evolution move. Interesting. Also, Stunfish Limber ability needs to be changed since Limber is useless on it. Maybe give it Water Absorb? I don't know. It's not a Pokemon that I would use. Okay. Been going on for about 47 minutes now. Time flies. So, once again, gonna jump in here to say if you haven't liked the video, do so. 2 more likes of 15. Can we do it before the stream ends? And also remember to vote. We got 13 votes right now, and apparently 10, 9, 8, 7 are tied. You guys like this episode. Do you think Kilowattrel will learn a new move if it tears because it learned Electro Ball during the time skip? Well, Kilowattrel is the only one that hasn't terrestrialized now. So maybe. That's why I said earlier, Roy, it's about time to get on that. Time to let Kilo actually, shine for once. And, you could actually utilize it to terrestrialize it, please. Thanks. Do it. Make it happen, Roy. We, the fans, demand it. To be fair, Quaxwell had the type advantage since Stunkfish is part ground. If Dot had a ground type, that would have been useful. Yep, in that situation. Heron needs to learn Psychic to replace Confusion. Maybe it will happen soon. I don't know. The Fallen Kilowattrel focus episode. It would be good. It definitely needs it. We also need that Lucario flashback episode. Please and thanks. Make it happen, Pokemon Horizons. If you're listening to this, staff members on the team working on the series. Yeah, can you give us that Lucario backstory episode? And maybe a Kilowattrel focus episode? That would be cool, please and thanks. Sincerely, the fans. Its Terra type will most likely be electric. Yeah, probably. Discharge replaces Spark and it goes to Terra. I don't know, maybe. All this is speculation at this point. Oh, so can we get an alt solo focus episode? Maybe down the road. We're still pretty earlier in the into this arc. There's no way we aren't going to get a Lucario backstory episode. I think we need Onyx Aerodactyl Megacine. If they even decide to give Sango and Onyx Megas. Also, why did Tinkatuff attack Quaxwell a couple times in this episode? What do you mean? Quaxwell was like protecting it from the muddy water at that one point. I know that. I also wanted to beat up on that microphone. An alt focus episode where he deals with his other Pokemon that he caught. Give him a little bit more layers to his character, right? I highly doubt they won't Mega. Do you think we will see Pony on Zerg before they find a Mythio? I would assume so, but you guys really think that they're gonna Mega Evolve their Pokemon? Sango and Onyx? Think that's gonna happen before this arc ends? Or during this arc? Because we've only seen them use Terra. Crave to show up. He's unfortunately been booted from his job, so he's probably, I don't know, working at Pokey McDonald's to make up for it. He went from president of a company to cashier. Yeah. Oof. It's almost bad as Faba becoming an intern. Yes, give Liko and Dot a Mega Pokemon. When do you think Liko, Roy, Dot, and Alt will travel to Kalos? Hard to say. We're in Paldea right now, so there's got to be an incentive for them to go to Kalos. The only thing that is right now that would, there's only two things that would get them to go to Kalos right now. Number one, Requiem signs. There could be some stuff going on in Kalos, and Roy's like, "Hey, we gotta go to Kalos because this is what's going on, and we gotta go and save the day." I don't know, something like that. Or B, Roy's like, "Hey, Liko, Dot, I think we need to get you guys powered up a little bit. So how about we head to Kalos and get some Keystones, and then on the way they end up catching a new Pokemon that can Mega Evolve." And like I said, I don't know exactly what ZA is going to introduce yet. Okay, we'll probably find that out on the Presents next month, whether we got new Megas or even new Pokemon, who knows. But, that's another reason. And then the third reason is a completely unrelated reason that the studio decides to send them to Kalos for. So who knows? Do you think we'll see the ZA characters appear in the anime? I don't know. You didn't really get that in the prior series. Legends Arceus didn't really get represented at all. So either it's going to be the same thing for ZA, or the anime this time is going to be like, alright, we learned our lessons. We're going to actually include these characters this time. I feel Zongo's time skip design is based off of Mega Glalie. I think there will be Kalos, but not much because they need to dodge Ash companions. I mean, they did that in Galar. And I guess you can say they did that a little bit in, well, they were going through Kanto and Johto here. Kind of avoid... We went to Blackthorn City without running into Claire, so yeah. I think that Alt is from Kalos. That is my hypothesis. My assumption would be yes, just because that's where Roy met him. And he's just following him since then. To be fair, those characters were from hundreds of years in the past. Well, ZA takes place in the future. True, but still, we'll see. I think the time travel episode could be neat. I wanted that in the prior series and we never got it. Sun and Moon had that time travel episode that was actually really good. But yeah, I gotta kind of see a reason for us to go to Kalos right now. Like, we went to Paldea. The reason why we're in Paldea now is because we're meeting up with Murdoch, which just could lead to us running into some characters that we haven't really had time to spend with in Paldea originally. So there would need to be a reason for us to go to Kalos, like Requiem signs and stuff like that. Try and travel to future Kalos? I don't know. Do you think they would do that? I think Orla Elegate is now Electabuzz. It could be. We did get a time travel episode during Arceus episode when Team Rocket made all the Pokemon go back to eggs. It's not a time travel episode in the traditional sense. It's more like the characters were reversing an age kind of thing. Well, not really time travel. It was just like an age reverser thing going on. And they were de-evolving back to their previous forms and then eventually going back to eggs. And the kids were getting younger. They were like toddlers. And then let's just pray to Arceus. The power of friendship to get us through this. And pray to God. And then God's like, okay, I'll save the day, I guess. Before Sun and Moon, certain... And the Jewel of Arceus, the Pokemon Forever time travel happened in those Pokemon movies, yeah. Also, maybe we see the other ship Pokemon and how they evolved, like Slugmon, Marcargo, Showrun into Falos, Palmy, Palmo, Palmot. Yeah. Charcoal. Colossal. Colossal. Some will evolve, some probably won't. Like Chansey didn't evolve. But Rockruff did. Alright, y'all. We have hit the 1 hour mark here. Usually we only go about an hour, hour and a half, so at this point, the floor is completely yours. I'm pretty much out of stuff to say. Since this episode didn't really have a whole lot to talk about, personally. But what do you guys got for me before we head on out of here? Also, I haven't seen Pokefan. Do you think Murdoch will rejoin? Not in this episode. We're not gonna have the whole full crew back until we get to Orla and we get the ship again. We get the Brave Asagi to go and pick everyone up. I mean, at this point, we already reunited with Molly, and now we're reunited with Murdoch. The assumption is we're gonna reunite with Old Man and Orla here soon. The only question is, like I've always said, this is like, where, like, what's everyone up to? Like, you know, Murdoch could have went back to Galar, but he's here working with Katie. So, Orla, I feel she either went to that one lady in Galar, or she's back at her old job in Hoenn. So, we might be traveling to either one of those regions to pick up Orla. To be honest, before we left Johto, I thought we'd run into Ludlow then, but I guess not. I figured he would have gone back to his hometown. The RCS episode... what the heck? Who's calling me? Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a few minutes. Hello? Yes. That's fine. Sure. I need to go get lunch anyway. Sorry about that. Alright. Where was I at? Okay. The RCS episodes and journeys were trash except for Team Galactic one. But Team Rocket should have been in that one. Yeah, like looking back on it, those RCS episodes were kind of... I don't know how to describe it. Very underwhelming and very just not what I expected them to be, but also not really that great. It was nice seeing the DP crew plus Go there. But I don't know. It wasn't really like about the game at all. They showed off some of the history Pokemon. They're like, oh yeah, they're extinct. Okay. Dang it. Microphone. Stay up. Yeah, and then Heatran or whatever was the one that got like all messed up and it like morphed into like a new bean pretty much. And RCS had to come in and save the day and stuff. It was weird. They were trying to bring back Cyrus, and that really didn't go anywhere either. But yeah, I don't want to make this whole stream about that. I miss Pokemon movies. It's horrible knowing that any new Pokemon movies won't be created anytime soon. Yeah, it's kind of at that. They're unfortunately doing that on a yearly basis. It's impossible now, especially after the pandemic. It made it really difficult for things to continue the way they were before. I also think the movies weren't really doing particularly well at the box office anymore. I think I Choose You gave the series like a brief resurgence, but I don't think the last two movies did as well at the box office, the Japanese box office, that is. I know before I Choose You, they weren't doing super hot, but it probably was just becoming too difficult to maintain doing them, so That's why we don't have the movies anymore. I would like one Horizons movie. That's all I ask for. Just one. If you're going to just get one, that's fine. But I don't know. We haven't had a movie in like 5 years. Which is crazy, isn't it? Murdoch most likely has the sushis and Shuckle in his care. Yeah, I would assume so. Sushis. I think Orla will have Macargo and Colossal ship Pokemon with her. I would assume so, yeah. Well, that was usually with her. I would love to see Galar again, but I think Orla was going to be in Hoenn rebuilding the brand new ship. I think it was such a missed opportunity for Karna not to give the kids new Pokeballs. Yeah, that would have been nice. I'm expecting they will reunite with Orla in a few episodes. That quick, you think? I mean, I guess the pacing of this series is kind of leading to that happening. Because, like, I think a lot of us are like, oh, Terrapagos is going to be asleep for a while. Oh, it wakes up in, like, 2 episodes. Oh, it's going to be a while before, you know, certain things happen. And it's like, oh, this happened, you know. So I guess you might be onto something, Sharon. I was thinking maybe it'd be towards the end of this arc, but we'll see. You might be right. I guess we'll find out when we get these episode titles, right? Summaries and titles. I think it will be cool. Saturn caught that Heatran briefly. I love galactic battles in DP. The movies feel so off from the anime, so out of place. Well, yeah, that's why a lot of people are like, oh, are they even canon? People have those arguments too, so. The movies are very hit and miss, though. They're very hit and miss. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like at all. Tarsuguri forms, just me helping out a little bit. Yep. No way, Orla is going to be last, but at the same token, she needs a ship to pick up everyone. See, I don't know. I feel like the purpose of this arc, I mean, the pacing has been kind of leaning towards her coming sooner, but at the same time, it feels like this arc is leaning on, like, the kids are traveling around, you know, trying to solve these issues with the Requiem signs all over the place. So, them getting the Bravasagi so soon would kind of undermine that, in my opinion. I think it would be best to go through the majority of this arc, and then towards the end, we reunite with Orla, and she's got the Bravasagi, and then we're picking everybody up. And then we go into Arc 6, and then whatever's coming next. Rumor has it that Arc 6 is the final arc, but we'll find out soon enough, right? We gotta convince the public that strong spears are not good and that Requiem is still a problem. Gotta get the Rising Voltacular's name cleared. Or has a Cargo and Colossal Ship Pokemon. Oh. You already said that, though. Lulu, Snow and Flores. Yep, Noctowl, maybe. Anyways, guys, we got 10 people here. I don't know if you guys have liked the stream already, but if you haven't, I'd encourage you to do so. It helps bring people in. Spread the word on the channel and the stream. And also vote in the poll. We are currently at 15 votes. 10, 9, 8, 7 are locked in a tie right now. Someone might need to go in there and throw a tie-breaking vote, if you know what I mean. So I encourage you to do that. What month do you think this arc will end? September, more than likely. These arcs have been go on from like 20 to 25 episodes, which usually gets us through gets us through 6 months. I don't know where I was going with that. Because the first arc went on until like September 2013, I think, or early October or something like that, and then we moved on to Arc 2, I think, and that was October to March October 23, and then April 2020 or March 2024. Then a Terrestrial Course was, or Terrestrial Debut was April 24 to September 24, and then Rayquaza Rising was October 24 to March 24. So more than likely, this arc will end in September, would be my assumption. Whenever that happens after a long, seeing them at the overturn must be epic. Yeah, they're building up to that, but we need to get more on that. Zerk and Coney have to be shown a little bit more. Pocket Monsters, Liko and Roy's Adventure OST, welcome in. I would like to see Galar again. I want Heroes to meet Nessa and Milo, the gym leaders. It's kind of hard to give us a reason to go back to Galar, though, besides, like, maybe either seeing Liko's grandma or something, but, like, I wanted Nessa to show up in, when we were in Galar, but we didn't get that. We got Kabu instead. That's if there's some Requiem signs going on in Galar, though. I think this arc will end in October. We'll see. Maybe another break this summer. It just depends on what's scheduled. I think we have a lot more time because ZA won't be out until the fall. So next gen won't be till the following fall. Maybe. It'll be at least 6 arcs, maybe a 7th. The only reason I say that is, let's just say somebody that's that has inside knowledge about the series has been saying recently that the next arc is the final one. But who knows? Maybe they changed their mind, and maybe they're not aware of that. I don't know. I would like at least 7 arcs for this series, personally. Hey guys. Oh, never mind. I thought this was like a lo-fi remix of Blue's theme from the original Pokemon Red and Blue, but I was wrong. So if this series ends early, what will the anime do? I don't know, take a break? I wouldn't be surprised if that might happen eventually. But I don't know. I've also heard some rumors about the supposed series that's going to follow Horizons, but I won't talk about that right now. Because I don't really trust it since it's preliminary information and way too early to get that stuff, so don't necessarily trust it. Would make sense, but if the timing for the next gen doesn't add up, yeah. The only thing that I can think of at that point is the anime's on hiatus. But I don't know. We'll find out soon enough, right? It'd be great time for Heteran to evolve while battling Nessa and to become a Gigantamax Heteran during that battle. Unfortunately, I'm going to just put it out there that I don't think Dynamax or Gigantamax is going to be present in this series. We had an opportunity to do that way back in, when we were in Galar, and we didn't even see any Pokemon Dynamax, so I think they were not really too focused on that at that point. The only reason I think Mega Evolution is here is because of ZA, so usually it coincides with what the series is doing, but then again, Journeys showcase all 3 at the time, 3 gimmicks at the time, so I don't know. A 5-6 month break. One Piece took a half-year break, so I wouldn't be surprised if Pokemon had to do the same at some point. You know, doing something like that could be healthy for the series, just because it would give more time to what's coming next. That way, not everything's not rushed. Something to think about. I know it would it'd probably kill my channel just because I'd have no material to work with for my videos. I'd probably just be streaming at that point. But yeah. After everything happens with Mega Arc and Kalos, a Unova Arc should happen, maybe. Reason because of the TCG Black Bolt and White Flare happening a little later this year. The only thing I'm gonna just say this right now, if we're going to Unova, it's gonna be Blueberry Academy. And pretty much Blueberry Academy only. So I don't know. Unless they just stumble into Unova because of Requiem being somewhere. Who knows, though. I feel they haven't shown enough Mega Evolution. Well, we've only been in this arc for like what? Not even 2 months. And we're not even in Kalos anyways. It's just Lucario and Sableye that's Mega Evolved in this series. You still need to know what's coming next, though. We're in Paldea, so it might be a little while before we head off to Kalos, but who knows. Well, I guess we'll see what the episode titles tell us here in the next few days, what's going to be happening next for the series. People forget about us dub watchers, so I feel like we would caught up, but we honestly are far behind Japan. Nope. Unfortunately, the dub is quite a bit behind. It really fell behind. Thank you, Netflix. It was getting caught up there for a little while, too. But nope. It's 1,000 times better than Journeys on the dub releases. Yeah, that was even worse. Oops, wrong tab. Huh. I'll give Songo and Onyx Megas. I'm just gonna like say this right now. It'd be cool if they got it, but I wouldn't hold your breath on it. You weren't far behind, I mean. Oh, gotcha. Give him Ethio Mega like Mega Glalie. Glade, excuse me. True for dub watchers also. I used to watch dub, switch to sub only. I've literally been watching sub since XY, so shout out to the OG sub watchers. Some people go as far back as like AG and DP, so we get the next batch this month. I was surprised, so I should probably be seeing Mega Voltage in January. Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Because what are they doing right now? Are they doing, didn't they just start Rayquaza Rising? So, yeah. Okay, y'all. Getting pretty close to the 1:30 minute mark. We got like 10 more minutes so we get there, but you guys got anything before we head on out of here? Probably be wrapping things up here soon. Some fish sneaked behind Quaxwell and he stepped on it and he got shocked. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what happened in the episode. Also, if you haven't liked the video / stream, do so now and also vote. We have a tie between 10-9 and 8-7. Got just a little bit more time before we head on out. We start Rayquaza Rising this month. The part that ends the episode is the False Entei battle. Oh, that is part of Rayquaza Rising, though. That's the end of last year. Oh wait, the False Entei battle. Is it the Entei from Johto, or is it just Gouging Fire and Paldea? Oh wow, Pokefan, you're showing up at the tail end of the stream. Time to give your quick thoughts on the episode before we head on out. Right after will be the last part before Mega Voltage. Okay, gotcha. So you're pretty much... The dub's pretty much close to the... Like... It's like midway through Rayquaza Rising. No, you're good, Pokefan. Tinkaton went full on hammer mode. Yep. Oliko Terrestrialized Terapagos and Katie rematch. She just might, Sharon. She just might. The Entei from Johto, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that was the end of 2024. That episode. I think that was the last episode of 2024, actually. It's alright, not bad. It was alright, not bad, pretty solid. That's pretty much where I think about the episode. According to Bulbapedia, yep. Remember to like the stream and vote on what you thought about the episode in the poll before we end things off here soon. Did you like Terrestrial debut better than Rayquaza Rising? It's a good question. Because I think as more time has gone on, I've actually started to like Rayquaza Rising arc more. I still think the pacing is kind of bad in it, but I think with how the arc ended, kind of really made the arc, in my opinion. It arguably became my favorite arc as a result. So, it's hard to say. I think I'm leaning more on Rayquaza Rising now, and I still, like, I'm one of the few people that like Terrestrial Debut, because, like, I've noticed that a lot of people online don't like Terrestrial Debut and think it's, like, the weakest arc in the series, and I'm like, I don't know about that. There's a few things I don't like about it, but I think overall it's one of my favorite arcs that felt like kind of a throwback to the original series. Although this arc that's going on right now kind of feels like a throwback to the original series, since we're just traveling around without the Brave Asagi, you know? Yeah. I started watching Sub during X and Y, and the episode where Ash met Karina, her grandfather, before the gym battle. Having KOT was started to get difficult in life back then. Eventually switched up. Gotcha. I want to say that was during X and Y was during the time I got back into Pokemon after being away from the series for a while. And I want to say I remember just looking up stuff, and I came across like the X and Y series, and I want to say by the point I started watching the series, it was like not like more than halfway through the series, but we were like part way through the series. I want to say I started watching before Sawyer / Shota got introduced. So that's about where I started, and then I started with the dub originally, and then I later started watching subs because I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty neat. And then I discovered a bunch of YouTubers that were covering the series at the time and subscribed to a bunch of them. So it's kind of how I kind of got roped into the whole thing. I didn't cover the series back then. It wasn't until the tail end of Sun and Moon that I'm like, hey, maybe I'll start doing this stuff. So I waited like a long time before I actually started doing stuff like this. Yeah, that's kind of like my journey getting into this. 2 streaming sticks on Amazon, Roku. Yeah, gotcha. Not gonna lie, Quaxwell fainting made me kind of happy because the fact that Dot had to rely on Tinkertuff Terror was just wow. Who would have ever thought we'd actually get second Mon development before GTA 6? Nice one, Pokefan. But in all reality, yeah, I'm pretty happy that the secondary Pokemon are getting the treatment they deserve that I've been wanting for a while. Just gonna be waiting on Kilowattrel to get that episode where it finally terrestrializes. So, Roy, make it happen, please and thanks. Yep, second Pokemon better. Like, seriously, to go from little to no development for the second ones to them actually being relevant is just, yeah. That was my biggest problem, is they only just use their starters, and now they're actually, you know, having to utilize their other Pokemon now. Which is a good thing! Like, you don't necessarily need them to have, like, full-on development, but have them be present. Have them, like, you know, participate in battles. Have them do stuff, you know. And it seems like the series has kind of, like, woken up and realized, hey, this is a problem that we have. Let's fix it. So, yeah, we're doing pretty good this arc. I'm pretty happy so far when it comes to that regard. First half of Terrestrial debut was lousy. Second half, last 3 gym battles were really good. I wouldn't say it's lousy. It's just that it kind of like, Liko loses to Katie, which was kind of not the best. But Roy won against Brassius. I like that rematch. Dot losing to Iono kind of stung, though. Which is why I'd like a rematch between them at some point. And then you had the evolution episodes, which were underwhelming just because they didn't have the development they deserved at the time. Hopefully they'll make up for it in time. So far this arc treating the secondary mons better, so we'll see. I give it a 7.5, 8. They needed this arc to develop. Yeah, they needed that. They needed that training. For sure. People complained about them not being strong enough. Well, they get the training, so, and then they complain about that, so yeah, it's a lose-lose, I guess, for some people. I think the first half of Arc 3 was not that great. Part 2 was better. I see pretty much what Kevin said. Terrestrial debut opening anime is great. Rayquaza Rising opening is good. Its anime was greater than Terrestrial debut. Okay, gotcha. My favorite arc was the Gleam of Terrapagos, but I love filler episodes. I see. Do you think we could get a new Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer this year? Maybe at the Summer Game Fest this Friday, they might have it. You might want to check that out, Sharon. I think I'm going to be doing a live reaction to that. I'm going to see if I can get some buddies on stream with me. Also, what's y'all's thoughts on Liko using Terrapagos next week, guys? Because I've seen people actually furious because she's cheating, so don't deserve the win next week. That's not cheating. I know some people are saying, like, well, it's like a super powerful Pokemon, but, like, Terrapagos hasn't shown to be that strong in the anime. It does have some unique abilities, but it's not like this battle freak or whatever, you know? So I have no problem with it. I was just hoping Meowscarada would get some justice here. Especially since Teddy Ursa evolved, so yeah. Like, seriously, Ash can use Melmetal and Mechanical, and it's fine, but Liko uses Terrapagos and it's cheating. Yeah. I do have some thoughts on, you know, people that have some weird critiques for Liko, but I don't necessarily want to say it in one of these streams, but I do kind of have an idea of why she's getting this criticism. I'm just not going to be vocal about it. Maybe I'll talk about it on Discord. Love the Brassius rematch and the Elite Four for battles. I'm a huge fan of Iono and Dot, but the battle was underwhelming. Yeah, could have been better. I mean, Ash used the mythical... Well, yeah, that's literally what was said, Sharon. That's what Pokefan literally just said. The episodes before was super, super good with the Baroom. It's fair, just a quick, weird little nitpick, I realize, yeah? Okay, guys, we've hit the 1.5 hour mark of this stream. By this point, I'm usually wrapping things up. And I do need to get lunch here soon. So, do you guys got anything else before we head on out here? If you haven't liked the stream, do so. We need 2 more likes to 15. If we can get to that before we wrap up here, that'd be cool. But if not, I'll go and cry. And vote. Apparently 10-9-8-7 is tied. So we need a tie-breaking vote if you haven't cast your vote. Or you could just vote for the other 2 categories and keep them tied. I don't know. This is your last call to vote and like the stream, though. Love the Kilowatt Evolution episode. Changed the relationship. It was very well done. The 100 episode was trash. I just think my problem with the Kilowatt episode, it's a good episode, but the lack of development for Kilowatt beforehand kind of kills it for me a little bit. Terapagos is the only normal legendary Pokemon after Regigigas and Arceus. It gave her 4 minutes of screen time. Yep, and then she solves the problem. And someone just responded to me on YouTube comment saying to TBF, Rico hasn't really been doing anything. What? What do you mean? Explain. What move could Terapagos get? We'll find out. Okay, whatever, I guess. Doing what? What does that mean? Elaborate. I'd be like, could you elaborate, please? I don't know. I don't get really too much into arguing with people online anymore. It's not really worth it. Unless I have a super strong opinion on something. Anyways, guys, do you guys have anything else regarding this episode or anything? Because I think I'm going to wrap things up here in another minute or 2. So this is your last call now for anything in the chat. Also, by the way, we're having a Pokemon Lo-Fi remix in the back for Goldenrod City. Pretty cool, huh? Right? Guys, got anything else? I'm giving you 1 more minute. It says she's done nothing in 1 year while Roy and Dot actually developed and grew. They're still hung up on that? Gotta love anipoke, yep. Overall good episode, 8 out of 10, I guess. I guess we'll discuss that later, because I'm like, going to let you go. Enjoy your weekend. I agree. I'm very careful what I say online. Everyone's so easily offended. Yeah, you say one thing and everybody's just jumping on you. You can have you can't have a critique anymore. It seems. You have even a little bit of critique or like any type of like agreement on something, and someone's gonna get mad at you. It's just how it works on the internet, I guess. But yeah, thank you. You can't not offend one person. Yep. And we have Degornio. Can't speak. Alright, guys. I think we're going to wrap things up here. I need to go and get food. Seriously, I'm hungry. And I also have to use the restroom. I've been holding it in for a while. Go get my pizza on. Gotcha. Get that pizza. Alright, anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. Apparently 10-9 and 8-7 tied. Nobody threw that tie-breaking vote. You can't disagree or have your own opinion. Yep. I'm at the opinion that we can agree to disagree at a certain point. But, you know, that's just me. I don't mind debates or like having like, you know, hey, this is what I think and this is why I don't like something, why I do like something. I mean, I'm pretty transparent about my thoughts on stuff, and you guys know that. You don't have to agree with everything I say or disagree with everything I say, but, you know, as long as you're not insulting people, I'm fine. I don't mind, like, you know, not like arguing, but like a little debating. But yeah, it's fun. It can be fun and productive, and you can actually learn something new from it, you know? I mean, we're not perfect. We as human beings can learn and stuff like that, you know? From that, so just something to think about. Just because someone else doesn't like something doesn't mean, you know, you have to be like, oh, well, I guess I don't like it either, or I like something, vice versa, you know. But yeah, anyways, that's enough for now on that. Yeah, here next Saturday. Gotcha. Great stream, nature calls. Enjoy your meal and have a great day. All right, see ya, Dexter. Thank you for stopping in. Alright, guys, dang, the music's getting a little loud. Alright, anyways, we're gonna wrap this stream up, so we're gonna have a pretty busy week when it comes to content this week. So I think we're gonna do one final Mario Kart 8 stream, since, the Switch 2 comes out, and as I said earlier, my Switch 2 is most likely gonna be coming in this week. If it doesn't somehow come in this week, it'll be next week, probably. So we'll probably be streaming some Mario Kart World if I have it this week. Just saying. But we'll probably do one more Mario Kart 8 stream. And then wrap that up. We're going to be doing a live reaction to the Summer Game Fest on Friday. I'm going to see if I can get some friends to join. Hope you guys can check that out. Saturday, we're going to be doing 2 streams. We're going to be doing the Horizon stream at 12 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. And then later in the night, we're going to be doing Mario Party Jamboree with my buddies. We haven't done that in a while, so hopefully you guys can check that out. It's usually some good times. We have a lot of funny moments, and you probably see them in my shorts. So expect to see a lot of that this week. And also, we got episode titles and summaries more than likely coming this week. Well, it is coming. We only have one episode we know of, so it's coming. So look forward to that. So yeah, a pretty busy week on the channel. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go eat and do my thing for the rest of the day. So if you're still here, thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have a great day or night, wherever you're at. And I will see you all later. Bye.